HD, SMC, ED, limited. What's the difference? Eggs and cheese sandwich. HD. Compare for all lenses and compare all the different lens coatings. That's what I need to do. What's the difference between HD, limited, ED, SMC, and DA star? Focal length 35. I have Sigma 1770, DA star 1650. I've got the 35 limited, 18135, SMC, ED. That's what I gotta do. I gotta make a video.
Okay, so here's the images that I took. Now on the right side will be the I guess comparison image, the base image, so to say. So on the right side will be the shots taken from the DA Star 1650 2.8 PLM. And on the left side, we'll start off with the limited 35mm 2.8 macro. Now, as you can see, the macro does do some ghosting in regards to strong backlight. However, it does retain detail and it does cut through any lens flare. There's really no flaring or anything. I mean, just a tad bit here at the bottom, just by this Google speaker thing. However, it is also on the 1650 PLM image. It's not nearly as pronounced, and there's a lot less ghosting in the overall image on the DA Star 1650 f2.8 PLM. So yeah, the newer style coatings that PENTAX is doing do seem to be making a remarkable difference in regards to minimizing any ghosting and flare and things of that nature. Now let's move on to the 18135 DA series lens. Now this was actually shot at f4 because at 35 millimeters it's f4. That's just how it is. So the difference between the 18135 and the 35 millimeter limited is pretty pronounced. The limited is not as new a lens as the 18135, so it's sort of expected. You know, I mean, the 18135 did do a very, very good job of minimizing any ghosting or anything. It did a very remarkable job. I mean, the details there, it's nice and clean. Now, where the major difference comes in is when the backlight is more focused towards the lens directly. So let's switch the image here and bring up this one. Now this is where things are drastically different between the lenses. So again, right side is the DA Star 1650 f2.8 PLM. Left side will be both the 35 millimeter limited f2.8 and the DA 18135 WR ED SMC, or whatever way they want to say it. It's too many acronyms in PENTAX lenses. They should just keep it simple. But anyway, the 18135. They do make a big deal in regards to the fact that it is an ED lens, so it's got the extra dispersion glass, which seems to make a pretty big difference, as you saw before, with contrast retention and being able to cut through any of the haze that shows up with strong backlight. Now, when you maximize the backlight, here's where things get interesting. So we have the 35 millimeter f2.8 on the left and the DA Star 1650 PLM on the right. Now, you'll notice the DA Star 1650 PLM seems to easily cut through any of the haze that's inherent with very strong backlight. Now, I had this light shining pretty much directly into the lens, and I had set the exposure with no additional lighting, dead even exposure, so I wasn't using plus or minus any EV or anything like that. So all the images were evenly exposed, and then I introduced the light and went from there. But you can see, especially along here, let me zoom this in, especially along this hacky sack ball and the edge around this speaker here, there's not nearly as much detail because there's too much glare and haze coming from such a strong backlight. However, the 1650 PLM seems to be able to cut through all of that, and it doesn't seem to affect the image whatsoever, which is actually very remarkable. And they did do a very good job. I mean, you can see that there is some haze here. However, compared between the two lenses, this is a much, much better quality of image. And let's go down to the 18135, and this is when things just fall apart for the 18135. It started off really good, but now we've got lens flare. So yeah, with the lens flare, you know, I mean, the 18135 is a great lens. It is good. However, in certain circumstances, this is why there are more expensive lenses. You do actually get improvements in the quality with more expensive lenses. It's, you know, I mean, the expense is quite up there, but this is why, well, this is, sorry, what you get when you do step up and spend that additional amount of money on a higher grade professional series lens. So you can see there's a lot of ghosting all across this entire image. It's just hazy everywhere. Yes, I know software can help with that, with clarity sliders and things of that nature, but just the lens on its own, the way it is, you know, you always want to start with the best image you can possible before you start doing your editing. And this side-by-side comparison shows that there is a difference in between the various coatings that PENTAX actually does produce. Yeah, so I mean, that's really, there isn't really a whole lot more to say about that. You know, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. I showed you guys exactly what the differences are side by side, and it's a pretty remarkable difference in between all, you know, these various lenses, all with different styles of coating. So there you have it. That's pretty much all there is to it. Come here. Come. Be quiet, okay? Doing a video. Doing a video. Want to see? Okay. See there. Say hi. Want to say hi? No? Over here. Hello, everybody. Okay. Be quiet. All right, sorry about that. Dog's just making noise because my wife's not home, so he's freaking it. See, he's freaking out. Anyway, so there you have it. The various lens coatings do make a big difference depending on the shooting situation. For example, the 18135 doesn't do the greatest in regards to strong backlight. It actually has a lot of ghosting in the images, and it does lose some detail. It just can't cut through that element of light being backlit. The DA Star, probably as expected, did a remarkable job cutting through the glare and the haze from strong backlight. And the Limited, kind of in the middle, you know, kind of, yeah, I would say it's in between the two. So the SMC coating in the Limited lens seems to be a stronger, you know, a more concentrated version, I guess, of the SMC coating. The 18135 seems to have a lesser version of the SMC coating. Mind you, the DA Star 1650 PLM, as expected, it is the DA Star lens, so it's got the HD coating, it's got the Aero Bright coating, it's got everything. I did not do the Sigma because I thought about it afterwards. Let's just stick with the PENTAX lenses. Never mind the Sigma lens. I mean, if you guys really want to see how that fares, then I can post that in the community as a comparison between the lenses. But that's pretty much it. If you like the video, leave a like. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. It always helps out. And if you want to support the channel, that info's at the bottom of the description. You have any questions or comments, leave them down below. That's it. You'll see me on my next video. I'm out.